Am I an addict?
Essentially, basically, fundamentally, no, you're not. That is not who you are. Question, who am I? The answer isn't, I'm an addict. However, for a period of time, it may be beneficial to hold that view that, yes, I'm an addict. How do you know if you're addicted to something? If you're addicted to something, I've been addicted to things. I've been addicted to smoking spliff, tobacco, and sex. When you're addicted, basically you lie to yourself, and you can't do without it, you think. So if you say you drink a lot, right? And you say, I'm not addicted, I just like drinking. Okay then, see if you can put it down for 3 days or a week. And then observe very carefully what happens. If absolutely nothing happens, makes absolutely no difference at all, then you're probably not an addict. But if you start becoming angry, if you start getting irritable, if you start just not enjoying your life, then the chances are that you are an addict. And that irritability, that anger, is beginning to reveal what it is you're trying to hide by being the addict. When I smoked spliff, I'd smoke in the morning and all day. And then when I would stop, because occasionally my lungs would just fill right up, and I'd just start feeling terrible physically, so I had to stop. Then I would feel really angry, and I knew there was stuff that I was using the drug or the drink or whatever to suppress issues that needed to be dealt with. And I was using the drink or I was using the drugs in order to avoid having to deal with what I had to deal with. Anger is suppressed by the drugs, but the anger is what kind of guides you to where the issue is, because the issue is unconscious. Not always. Sometimes you know what your issue is and you just don't want to deal with it. But sometimes the issue's unconscious. You don't know why you feel compelled to go out and get pissed. Perhaps you don't know why you always have to be stoned. Perhaps your internal dialogue has invented all kinds of reasons why and how it's okay, and that's just who you are. My dad was an alcoholic, so I am. No. No. That view completely lets you off the hook. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to look at it. It's just who I am. Nobody's nature is addictive. That isn't what the nature of a human being actually is. It's cause and conditions and meanings ascribed to things that happened that end us up in a position where we have to bomb ourselves out. Sex addicts. Sex with yourself or sex with others indiscriminately is a way of conquering loneliness. And you see that, and you have to be compassionate. Oh my God, I'm actually just a bit lonely. Wow, I just need that contact. I'm frightened of intimacy, so I have to do it this way. I have to pay for it, or I have to do it this way. That's all that it is. And with some love and compassion for yourself and a bit of courage to inquire, what is going on with me that I should do this? Look, I've just screwed it up again. I got drunk, and then I got very drunk, and then I got very, very drunk, and I've made a huge mess again. Why do I do this? What in me isn't reconciled? You see, a lot of people also, you say, do you know I'm not an addict? Or they go, do you recognize that you're an addict? They go, yeah, but what? And inside them, even with people who smoke cigarettes, you get this. They know it's making their health really bad. They know it's going to lead, the next stage will be emphysema and a horrible death, yet they're still smoking. Because actually they haven't invented for themselves the possibility of putting it down. It's just, they haven't invented it. It's not in the realm of things that could or might happen. So the first stage, if you're an alcoholic, have to drink every day, or if you're a smoker, compulsively smoking, or if anything that you do makes you feel weird when you don't do it, then the first thing on the road out of there is to recognize that it is possible to put all that shit down. It is possible for you. That actually, that isn't who you are. It might be who you've been for as long as you can remember. Especially if you're a smoker, because of course your memory goes out the window, doesn't it? But it may be that that's who you get yourself to be for as long as you can remember. But it isn't who you are. There were a set of conditions that brought that into being. It has a story that it needs to tell, and you need to be ready to listen to it so that you can move on and become free. I'm saying you, but also it's been me. I was an addict. I really needed to smoke. I had tremendous struggles putting smoking down. But I always had the possibility. I knew that it could happen. And then I noticed that when I really chose that, a route way came out of there. And I took it. And it wasn't difficult. So it has to be a choice. You shouldn't give up anything from the point of somebody saying you should give up. Look, you made another mess, you've lost your family, you fucked your life up, you're on the side of a fucking road, you're absolutely nothing, you should give it up. Won't work. Moving from should will never work. It has to be, I'm done with this now. I choose to find out what life is like through clear eyes, with a clear head. I choose to see what life is like just by being present. And the amazing thing is that if you've been like intoxicated for a large period of your life, when you actually stop intoxicating, what clears goes through successive stages, and the issues that were there come up for resolution and you resolve them. And then your perception of life becomes like a trip, like you're on acid. Everything is like sparkling. Everything reflects the greater glory. Everything is amazing. That your mind is quiet. You're not fluctuating from outrageous highs going into unutterable lows and going back into outrageous highs and down into... This will make you mad ultimately. It needs to stabilize, and one needs to just gently make one's way into ever-increasing happiness and joy. Not coming up and going down, coming up. Whatever goes up is going to come down. Reality isn't up there any more than it's down there. And we can't keep doing this to ourselves. It damages us physically, it damages us mentally, it damages our relationships, and it wastes our life. But there is something to understand in the way and the why that causes us to be that way. There's something, if you understood it, you'd be able to move on from it. And also, because it makes such a mess of our life and cuts us out of so many amazing possibilities, There's almost like what you could call a divine force waiting for us to choose to get over it. And when people do, I've seen this many times, people finally get to the end of the tether with it. They miss the boat again, or, you know, they buck up in some other way. Or they go beyond the realms of what is even for them acceptable. And then they make a choice. You know what? I'm done. And I've seen it. It's incredible what happens. How the pathway out of there can be just so amazing. And then empowerment comes. Then self-respect returns. And then you realize you were in denial. You were totally in denial about what was really happening. And now that you've accepted yourself and loved yourself through it, you've grown, and you just feel that that was a phase of your life that is now past. And thank God, that I'm now free to be free. I'm now free. Because any kind of addiction is shackles. When's the pubs open? When's the off license open? How much money have I got? Oh God, you know, or heroin addicts, what can I steal? Blah, blah, blah. There's no good fortune around addiction. But if we invent that possibility, then the way out of it will be revealed to us. And what it is that needs to be faced, and what it is that needs to be loved and accepted within us, will become clear. And that compassion for oneself, which brings about that healing, then becomes available to others as well. Because you can totally relate. We make mistakes. We give false meanings to things. We get stuck in habit and wrong thinking. All of us. But there is clarity for everyone. So anybody who's listening, who is on the verge of making that beautiful choice for clarity, God bless you. And those that aren't, God bless you too.